Let's talk about Ant-Man and the Wasp. Ant-Man and the Wasp in Quantumania, the new trailer. So this is just an article which breaks down the biggest reveals, which I think are like the key points, which I kind of wanted to talk about as well. So I think first and foremost, let's get everyone's opinion. So Culture, let's get your opinion of this. What's your opinion of the trailer?
The trailer's fine, but it's very, to me, they're following the same pattern, the same tropes. They use the same, classic rock songs. It is what it is. But and this seems to be a pattern that I'm recognizing with the way they produce some of these trailers. And I think Tom and I have talked about this before, but I feel like I feel like the trailers just ho hum to me. Because it feels so old hat. It's ho hum, and it actually lowered my expectation for the film. And
okay, wow,
I know that sounds odd, but it really did. So,
yeah, okay. All right. Well, so why did it lower your expectations?
Well, a lot of the visuals, a lot of that stuff, it feels like some repurposed things in there. And again, that's a trailer, so we don't really know what it'll ultimately be. But I don't know. Visually, it didn't knock my socks off. I felt like at times it's leading into this idea we're repeating ourselves. Getting into the quantum realm, the way that it's going to happen, I'm always, this is the thing, I'm always hesitant, or I'm always feeling like it could be that we're being set up for some kind of a bait and switch or whatever. And I can set all that aside when I'm watching a trailer, because my expectations have been subverted so many times. I have very little positive expectation when I see things like that. Yep. But overall, I think, it for whatever reason, I feel like a lot of these storylines that they're pulling from Marvel are somewhat played out. I feel like very rinse repeat. And that, again, when I see these trailers, they all start to look alike. And
they have a format. They have a
but it's
they follow for sure.
Yeah, but it's and I know Tom talks about the music all the time. I'm like, because we don't make good music now, in my opinion, you're using the old music.
I could recommend some good bands.
Sure, I'm sure you can. But I'm just saying, like, that's why they go back to these classic rock songs and stuff. And
yeah, I'll agree with that.
It's difficult. It's difficult for me, because as much as they want to appeal to an audience that's in my age bracket and Tom's age bracket, I know you're a very young fella, but Paulie's age bracket. I'm like, you're not appealing to us anymore, because even with this music that you're using and everything else, it's just, to me, it's like I've now seen all the magician's tricks. That's why these trailers, they don't play out for me.
Yeah. So. Tom, let's get your opinion on this.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't too sold on the original trailer, the teaser or whatever.
Yeah.
There was some people who are like, oh, it looks all right. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm seeing through the cracks now. I'm seeing them replacing him with 3 other women is what I'm seeing. Yeah. And this trailer was a bit more Scott heavy, but it also gives us an idea that he's probably going to sacrifice himself, and likely he'll be replaced going forward. Nothing in this trailer really made me want to go see the movie. Like, I loved the first film. In fact, I felt it was one of the best 3D films, not just Marvel films, but one of the best 3D films ever. It has some really cool effects with being, the miniature and all that kind of stuff. It really plays with all that in the 3D effects. The sequel was a huge letdown. I didn't hate it, but it just felt like, what are you trying to do here? Because this is not the same kind of tone and feeling from the first film. And it kind of felt like this bridge movie because it had to be. Yep. All basically to set up this end credit scene that sets things up for Endgame. So it kind of had that problem. And this, you're right, Paulie, and Culture. Like, a lot of this, I mean, Culture just said, this looks like this formulaic Marvel thing we get every single time. You could almost cue when whatever classic rock song is going to come in, and it's always going to be with the music pulled out, just the audio and a swell of the orchestra, and it's going to, it's always, and then you get a bump, 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 and then the title. And it's like, you can almost time these things perfectly. And I bet you if you line 20 of these trailers up next to each other, like Culture was just saying, it would be like watching the same thing over, in like the same window over and over again, even though it's different movies, because they're so basically timed to this 2-minute structure. It's become like monotonous in a way that, to me, I can pick out all the little, nuances and be like, I could just redo that with anything now. It's so easy to do. You could take an older movie and recut it into a modern trailer, and people do that for fun, but to me, it's like, okay, that means this is stale. It's time to move on. And trailers, just like movies and everything else, they change over time. They evolve. And we had, we used to have In a World, where every movie would start out like that. You had the guy that would say shit like that.
Movie trailer guy, yeah.
Yeah, and before that, it was just kind of a flash of the scenes. And before that, you would even have, coming to this theater, blah, 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 blah. It's a sensation. It's a da-da-da. Over the years, trailers would change. And outside of basically Ryan Reynolds copying the Hitchcockian style of selling the movies lately, there is nobody, and I mean nobody, doing a campaign, as far as I'm concerned, that is standing out in any way. The Deadpool campaigns have, in fact, the Deadpool 2 campaign for the movie was better than the movie itself. Like, that's the problem you have there.
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, outside of that, I just don't buy, like, these trailers are dime a dozen. I don't even almost have to watch them anymore. And I can kind of guess what they're going to be. And this sold me on nothing. I felt nothing for this trailer. I don't really care about this universe anymore. It's getting that 1983 vibe from it. It's like we're on the cusp of, we need to get past this shit now. Like a Smokey and the Bandit 3 kind of feeling. You know what I mean? Just like, this is a sequel we shouldn't even have at this point. And it's not nearly as bad as something like that, but in a way it kind of is. I know I'm making like a weird comparison there, but what I'm talking about is that era when we had a lot of really bad sequels. I
know what you mean. Paulie, what's your thoughts on the trailer?
Yes, In a World. Yeah, I think if
there's a quantum world,
in a world where no worlds exist,
I think if there is a IP, a configuration entertainment company that I absolutely have had it with, and this is me talking, it would be Marvel, because after Wakanda Forever, I just don't effing care about any of these things that are coming out. Prove me wrong.
Right.
But what I saw, I went back to sleep right away. I mean, as far as, I checked out the trailer early this morning. I told you, I think I was half asleep. I really love the actor, Jonathan Majors. You guys want to go see a Jonathan Majors movie? It's streaming right now. It's an incredible film called Devotion. It's with Glenn Powell. It's a war movie, true to life, real life story, Korean War jet fighters, sensational. It flopped at the box office. Don't be fooled by that. It's a great film. It's about brotherhood, loyalty, being heroes, and it's true and it's entertaining. That is a Jonathan Majors movie. I recommend. Yeah. I can't recommend this one. It's just a trailer, I know, but I'm just saying.
Well, and
how did
you feel compared to, like, say, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 trailer? Like, to me, that actually got me going in comparison, even though it's a Marvel film. I mean,
I don't really consider the Guardians movies Marvel. I know they are, but you know what I mean? I know the two, the second one wasn't that good. But that,
I like the second one, but yeah, I get you.
Right. But I'm talking about for me, as far as, to me, they're always like the cool, guest stars that show up. So I'd give Guardians my money, maybe opening weekend.